Hey there, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of the Reds of Steel City podcast. I'm Josh, and today I'm joined by Ben. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, mate. We have Steve. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good, mate. How are you?
Very good, mate. And not last but not least, we have Julian. How are you, buddy?
All right, and yourselves?
Oh, mate, a little bit hungry now after you've just said you just finished cooking tea.
Yes. That's unfortunately you're down there, I'm up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, I'm on my way over, Julian.
Fair enough. No worries, Steve. I have a plate just for you.
Perfect.
Love it. So on today's episode, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the new recruit, Harvey Elliott, who was confirmed, according to Ray, who was on episode 1, that it has officially happened.
Yes, he's got Klopp on pocket dial, so obviously he has. So yes.
Yeah, hey, he just presses number 1.
That's right.
It rings Klopp.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about Philip Coutinho and obviously the possible rumours and talk of him coming back, and then obviously a few other topics as well. But we will start with Harvey Elliott. Youngster from Fulham, obviously made his debut at a very young age. I think it was 15 and X amount of months. So
I think it was 16 and
16
and 30 days or something like that. He broke the record either way.
Yeah. I had I don't know where I had 15 from. Maybe that was something else. But yeah, look, he looks like a decent player. He played a few games, obviously, for Fulham. I think it was like 2 to 3 or something like that. But I don't know. Obviously, we've got all the experience, obviously, with in the older guys, obviously Milner and so forth. So it's good to see, obviously, Klopp looking at the future. So what are your thoughts on it, guys?
Well, yeah. I think it looks good because there's a lot of clubs that were after him. So, and Fulham were actually wanting him to stay at the academy. But then, if there's a lot of, big clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool and all that, which we have, well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go?
Yeah.
To me, he's a very, I guess he's a signing that reminds me of Joe Gomez, basically, because we did a similar thing. We bought Joe Gomez very young, very cheap, and he's turned out to be a little gem and I guess a diamond in the rough that has the potential to go on and do some pretty big things. And this kid's being touted as once in a generation sort of player, so it's hard because we haven't seen too much of him. He's had two professional games in the Premier League with Fulham. And played, a handful for, I think, the under-17s for England as well. So there's not much to go on, but nonetheless, he's being touted.
I also played in a European game, I heard.
Right,
well,
okay.
Yeah, because I was just going to touch on that, but I was somewhat correct. So 15 years and 174 days, he made his Fulham debut in a Carabao Cup.
Okay.
So... but again, obviously, he's not 17 yet, so he still has to play under the academy. He can't.
There's no full contract.
No full contract until April next year.
Yep.
When he turns 17. So, pardon me. Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Obviously, if he does get a sort of a sniff at, in the friendly fixtures, obviously in the coming weeks and so forth. Obviously, there are a few injuries and a few players that won't be definitely taking part in the friendlies. Obviously, I believe what's his name? Shaqiri. Sorry, it was the last one I heard today. Obviously, not going to take part. So, Ben, mate, would any insight to the young lad with his little bloody hair bun on top? Maybe get rid of that. That's terrible.
Oh, God, the man bun. Get rid of it. Interesting that he started his youth career off at QPR before he did make the switch across London to Fulham.
Yeah. QPR, though, another good academy.
And he's currently had more caps for the English national team than what he has for his club. So,
wow.
I mean, you look into that. What you feel, lads?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, Klopp doing we'll say for now, obviously another good bit of business. Obviously, as Julian said, the likes of Paris Saint-Germain and obviously Real Madrid chasing him.
Yeah.
He's obviously got the goods. So time will tell.
Sure will.
Well, we go off that signing and we talk about another rumour. Again,
a re-signing.
a re-signing. As I said, another rumour. Which Liverpool, we're just so used to them. So many good rumours. The blokes who honestly come up with these rumours are fantastic. Philippe Coutinho, back to Jurgen Klopp's side. Obviously. I was going to say something else there, but I won't.
The little magician.
The little magician. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to say, but I didn't feel I wanted to say it because he left. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't see it happening. He's not going to come cheap. Obviously, we sold him for 110 or whatever.
He's a little magician, all right. One day he was on the subs bench, and poof, he was gone.
Yeah, well, yes. He was destined.
I don't know if no.
He was destined for big things.
Yes.
That's right. And he's the way it is in football.
Yeah. Look, would you care to take a stab at what do you reckon? What did it cost us?
Look, I think it's tough because Philippe Coutinho has been, by the sounds of it, the last I heard, he was actually offered up to Paris in exchange for Neymar and some cash. Well, Barca was going to give Coutinho and cash over to sign Neymar back to try and sweeten the deal. I don't know. It's tricky because where else will he go? Man United were linked with him a little bit as well, and then alternatively he could
respect for Liverpool.
Yeah, so he's going to deny that, and then alternatively he could stay. Barca look like they're going to be doing some other business as well. If they sign Griezmann, there's going to be competition for places there. If they sign Neymar, what happens? Then there's a balancing of books aspect, and I think if they sell him this summer, they don't have to pay some add-ons to us that was originally included in the deal. So it's probably, I think we could get him cheaper than what we sold him for because he's had a lackluster season. And Barca are saving some money on the add-ons that they would have had to pay if he stayed. And I can't really see Coutinho going anywhere else. I can't see him playing in Germany. I can't see him. The only other team really is Paris for me, is where I see him going, unless he goes back to Italy. But there hasn't been too many rumours of him going to Italy. So it's really Liverpool, or he stays at Barcelona, or he goes to Paris. So I think they're the three destinations.
Yeah. I really don't know. Obviously, what we, as you said, what we get him back for. I can't even remember. Obviously, what Liverpool put in the contract. Whether obviously, I don't think they would have done a buyback clause or anything like that, like they did.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Or anything like that. So look, he's not going to come. He won't be cheap. In my opinion, I don't feel we need him.
No. Too many. We got too many good midfielders back. With Ox coming back, Lallana. I know they're not as creative as him. But
that was the argument.
So, yeah.
The argument was last season before we won the Champions League and all that sort of good stuff. There was the argument of Liverpool needs a number 10 now that Coutinho's gone. They need a creative midfielder. And that's why we were heavily linked with Nabil Fekir, who was a different sort of midfielder to what we've got, whereas Keita, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner, even Fabinho to an extent are all seen as very similar midfielders in terms of they all do the same sort of job,
they're
just
all very
slightly
defensive.
different. Yeah, whereas someone like Coutinho, he can grab the ball, turn, pick out a pass, is creative, can score. He's a player that could probably, he was getting us goals, could play on the left, could play on the right, could play down the centre behind Bobby or behind the strikers. So he was very malleable, and for us, he could produce magic, and he was doing it for Brazil as well in the Copa America. I'm pretty sure he scored a couple of goals there, and I'm pretty sure he scored a outside of the foot goal for them too. So, there's an argument there if we can sign him back, and we're getting a player that knows the league, knows our team, knows the players, and can do a good job. Whereas we can look elsewhere and go, let's sign a different number 10 sort of player. That may come and may flop. Whereas I guess with Coutinho, at least we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
That's probably the thing, and he'll settle straight back in. He knows the boys, and I think my argument for him leaving is sort of similar to Suarez. The South American boys, they dreamed of playing in Spain for Barca and Madrid. They were the teams they looked up to.
Yeah.
The South American boys and the Spanish boys. So they look at that and go, yeah, that's where we want to go. Whereas the Englishmen, all look at the great clubs of England to where they want to play. Whereas for him, he went, look, Liverpool's a big club, and I'm not denying that, but I'm sort of, boyhood dream was Barcelona.
I suppose you could also turn around and say that in the early part of that season, before the Champions League, after he did leave, it was very much that you could have almost say that Bobby Firmino sort of dropped back to play into a false nine.
Correct. That's very true. And look, that's
because
probably
he can do it.
Oh, and look, Bobby, when he signed from Hoffenheim, now we're digressing a little bit. He was a winger and 10 than he was a striker anyway. He's probably more of a centre forward rather than a traditional number 9 striker that gets you 30 goals a season. He's not a Robin Lewandowski or a Luis Suarez or a Fernando Torres in his prime. He's something a little bit different that sort of does a job everywhere. That's pretty critical.
Yeah, classic old school centre forward.
Yeah, It's like that tackle that he did with Brazil the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was an amazing tackle.
Yeah.
So
but yeah,
he can go anyway.
That's my thoughts on Coutinho. It's sort of the question is, do we sign him back and get what we know can work, and it's a player that Klopp can work with, and knows the team, knows the system, and knows what's expected, or do we look elsewhere, sign someone else that's maybe just as talented but may not fit in as well, or may falter?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Personally,
I reckon he stays. I think he stays at Barca.
Yeah, I personally don't see him leaving. If anything, I'd some people may disagree with me, but I think I'd take Suarez back over Philip Coutinho.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just think yeah. I mean, like, I think it was Ray last week was saying that you love to hate him. You know what I mean? Like when he's not playing for you, obviously you hate him,
but when he's on your side, you love him.
Yeah, it's it. He's just one of those players, and you could see when we played him last year, obviously in the Champions League, he was still tearing us apart. He still got it, and
that's exactly right.
My opinion would be he would come a little bit cheaper than Philip Coutinho.
Much cheaper. I think. Is he on the wrong side of 30?
Yeah,
or you'd have to be close. Yeah.
He's in his 30s now. He's not leaving leaving Barcelona at the prime, and he's probably, if Neymar goes back, maybe Suarez is out. There's going to be something where Barca's going to have to balance the books. But
something's got to give somewhere.
Yeah, that's for a Barcelona podcast, I guess. Moving on.
Pardon me. Yeah, look, it's gonna have to balance. They're gonna have to balance something out, especially if they want Neymar, considering his issues and that over there at the moment, not playing, not rock up to training and shit. So, but anyway, move on. If it happens, it happens. I won't say no, but
the question is, what jersey does he wear? Because he's not going to have his number 10.
No, he'll be
11.
Bench jersey.
Bench jersey. Number 11, I'd imagine.
No, that's
can't
Mo.
take that from Mo.
No, I'm sure Mo wouldn't. Who knows? Who cares? It's
'Cause-
just a number.
They care.
They care. I'd care. I'd walk in and go, "Where's my
Who
camera?"
was it? Who was it? Bloody was it Hazard? Come in when he went to Madrid.
He asked for Modric's
Yeah.
Modric's number 10, and Modric just laughed at him and said,
Yeah, get stuffed.
"So here's Cristiano Ronaldo's number."
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, God.
So yeah. But anyway, moving on, we will jump into player profile. So obviously last week we done the spectacular Alisson, and since then obviously three-time Golden Glove. So
Yes.
Big ups to Alisson for that one. So,
Ballon d'Or? Question mark.
For a goalkeeper? Yeah, okay.
look,
Now, hey,
look, it's the one thing that everybody's going to say. He's a goalkeeper. He'll never win it. There is nobody. I don't think there's anybody, Neymar and Ronaldo included, that should be virtually come anywhere near him. To be fair.
yeah, I tend to agree. If you look at the season and the numbers, and you're talking about Golden Glove in 3 different competitions. One in the best European competition there is.
Yep.
One in arguably the best league there is. And then going and guiding your country to a continental title. Again with a Golden Glove. Yeah, okay, the Copa America is not that tricky in terms of caliber of all the opposition, if you know what I mean. There's a very
Well, it was hosted in
mix.
Brazil. You would expect him to win that. So yeah,
that's exactly right. Well, he shut out Messi.
Yeah, I suppose winning it though's got nothing to do with it. It's
That's
I mean,
right.
for him, that's the least of his worries. The whole idea is the whole idea obviously is to win the tournament. It's in your own backyard.
Correct.
La, 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 that's sweet as. But for him to not concede goals, especially as you said,
that's his job,
and that's it. As you said,
and to do it in a fashion of, well, look at me, I'm conceding. I'm saving so many goals. The Messi free kick that he saved, so he learnt from his error when he was playing for Liverpool. So look, he just seems to be going from strength to strength, as we sort of predicted last week on last episode. We sort of said that.
Yeah.
We expect him to get better and better, and he's proved that for Brazil. And hopefully a good season for him. And look, Ballon d'Or is probably not out of the question, but the Ballon d'Or seems to be more favoured for strikers or attackers.
Maybe.
Rather than...
Maybe obviously down the bottom in the comments there, if whoever's listening, feel free to voice your opinion, yes or no. Does he deserve the Ballon d'Or? Obviously,
or at least a ranking in the top 3.
I personally think if he does not get in the top 3, the thing's rigged.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see him getting beat by anybody.
Because there was a bit... Yeah, sorry, go.
Sorry, other than, not even Messi. I don't think Messi's done enough this year. He's been pretty not all there. And
well, that's right. Messi did it in his own league. He couldn't do it in the Champions League. Ronaldo did it in his own league. Couldn't do it in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They won the UEFA Nations League, that new competition they brought in. But that's, still in its infancy, so it doesn't hold prestige, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a player that's been probably as consistent as him, except maybe Virgil. But you look at the stats now, and then you'd probably say, well, okay, he's done it in 3 different competitions.
Yeah, true. So we'll see what happens. As I said, feel free to leave something down the bottom in the comments section. Love to hear everyone else's opinion on it. So talking about another talents, obviously as we were going to get into the player profile, we're going to talk about Andrew Robertson, left back extraordinaire, stellar season. He killed it. Was it father? Played whilst his wife was
in labour.
Yeah,
wow, dedication. So look, he had a great season. Absolutely great season, and thankfully he got through it virtually unscathed, because if he went down and he got injured, I'm scared to think what would have happened.
Well, we would have seen the re-emergence of Alberto Moreno and possibly a new contract.
Well, that's...
No.
I'm kidding. Oh,
No, I don't.
No
Please
one would
don't
have
say
had
that
it
word.
over.
Don't say that word, please.
Hey,
come
he's
on.
already gone. Come on.
Yes.
Alberto said some nice things.
Good luck to him. 5-year deal, though. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Andy Robertson. Wow, what an extraordinary talent, and what a bargain from Hull City. I remember watching him for Hull, and I thought, okay, this kid's got some talent. I remember when we signed him, everyone was skeptical. Oh, geez, this is another typical Liverpool signing that probably won't amount to much. When we sign English talent, or not English, but British talent, Scottish, and usually they don't go too far. They sort of hit a ceiling and don't push past it. But he just kind of kept going. He started off a little rough in his first couple of games for Liverpool, and then I remember that bursting run against Man City, where he pressed all those players. That kind of put him onto the map of, okay, maybe this kid's a real deal. And then this season he's just gone strength from strength. And along with his defensive efforts, the little competition him and Trent Alexander-Arnold had with the assists, who can get more assists in the season. Actually, I don't know who won that, but that kind of seemed to spur him on, and the healthy competition. I can't fault him. He's got to be one of the best left backs in the world. Pure consistency. Scottish captain. Got the captaincy this year.
Scored a goal for him, so
Scored
a good goal for them. Got Champions League medal and a new father. So he's practically done it all. Yeah.
He had a good season. Obviously, it's amazing actually. Once he left Hull, obviously the end of 2017, he 12 months. He became the Scottish captain. Scored goals, obviously, and then obviously his performance just grew through the seasons, obviously, with Liverpool. So, again, another good bit of business.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough to see him play in Hull against Liverpool.
Wow,
and
okay.
Yes, so the year that Liverpool bought him, we went and saw him, and not just for him, but for Liverpool, but he just was a menace to the attackers, like he is now. But at a younger age, it was just, you couldn't say anything. That Hull beat Liverpool because pretty much of him as well. So
yeah, look, 2.85 million Hull bought him for. They sold him for 8 million. So it was a good bit of business for them. They obviously seen something in him. Very early, so $8 million. We'll take that. He's probably worth triple, if not quadruple that. So at the moment, in 25, he's still got plenty of years left.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much.
He's got the he still hasn't even hit his peak yet. So.
Even looking at his club profile, like he's gone from strength to strength numerous times before, from the Scottish Third to the Scottish Prem, and straight from the Scottish Prem to the English Prem. That's a big jump.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, he did play. Oh no, he played in the Championship that 1 year with Hull.
And he was an absolute monster.
Yes. What was it? So his stats this season. Are you ready? He played 3,216 minutes. He had 51 key passes, 83% accuracy on those passes. He had 5 shots on target, 58% of successful dribbles, and he was 61% on successful tackles, 47 clearances, and 30 interceptions. And he got, by the looks of it, 11 assists. That's just in the Premier League. And that were just Premier League stats, I might add. And then he got 2 assists in the Champions League. So some pretty good stats there for him.
Wasn't Trent 17 all up?
Oh, I didn't think he was that high because he only pipped him by 1 or 2 in.
Oh, was it?
In the Prem.
It was close.
It was very, very close. So, let's see what Trent Alexander-Arnold got. Let's just pull those stats up to see.
Pull the stats up, but obviously while you're looking at that,
while it's there, so he got 12 in the Prem, which was one more than Andy Robertson.
One more, yeah.
One more.
And then in the Champions League, he got 4. So he got a couple. He did get a couple more than him. So it was 16. You were almost right, Julian.
There we go.
The corner assist has got to, it's got to be worth more than 1.
Yeah, that's right.
It was filthy.
That's terrible.
Pure genius.
That's just a cheeky teenager. That's what that is.
Out of all teams to do it against, unbelievable.
In all the moments. But Andy Robertson, guys.
Andy Robertson. Yeah, look, I hope he has a great season. Another injury-free season. We'll see him do great things. Obviously, he'll build his stats and build the money up, and then obviously he'll end up leaving at some point because it's what they do.
Where would he go? Now that's the question.
That's an interesting question. Yeah,
because unless he moves to Spain and Real Madrid and does a Gareth Bale and Michael Owen, Steve McManaman, there's really no need. We're back at the top of the English pile again. He's not going to go backwards, I dare say, to Celtic, where he was a youth player there, and Celtic don't have the power or the strength in Europe for him to go, well, that's it, unless he goes there in the twilight of his career to go back home and
maybe Juve.
Boyhood club. Juve.
I was more thinking towards Germany. I think he'd do really well over in the Bundesliga.
That's very true, but would you leave Liverpool?
I don't want him to leave Liverpool.
No.
He can sign a 10-year deal if he likes. That'd be fantastic.
Look, I think if he was a foreign player, it'd be the worry. But we've got 2 British fullbacks that I guess will
3. Isn't Gomez one?
Yeah, but okay, our 2 starters, if you will, they're not going to they're not going to leave, if you know what I mean, unless they want to go to a bigger club.
Yeah.
But what's a bigger club in England?
Yeah, that's right.
We're at the top now, so I'm not too concerned about that.
Well, we'll move. We'll sway off Andy Robertson. Yeah.
Quickly, player rating on Andy Robertson this year out of 10. I think we did this last week for Allison.
Yeah, I think we did. Look, it's hard to say.
I would say 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go on 8.
Yeah, I'll go on 8.5.
Yeah, I'll go on 8.5.
Alrighty. We're averaging out at 8.5.
Yeah, look, as I said, I don't know. He couldn't do much more than what he did.
You know what? A couple of goals. I think John Rees put it best. There were moments where he made runs into the box and he'd look for the pass instead of the shot. And that's where John Rees would get a few goals too. He'd come in and score on that left side instead of passing. And I think he had one good shot was it in the final against Spurs, where we all thought, hey, he finally shot, and it nearly resulted in a goal.
He's got to do that more next season.
He's just got to back himself.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously the Scotland goal, I think it might push him then.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So, anyway, we'll move off one fullback and we'll jump on to another one. Lovren and obviously the AC Milan talk. Personally, I think it'd be a good move. I think he'd play well there.
Yeah, look, I'm a big Lovren supporter. I've got to support my home country there and my home countrymen. Look, I think it'll be a good move for him. I'd be sad to see him leave Liverpool because I love him playing for the club I support. And he's not a bad defender. He had a great season the year before against Van Dijk. He had a great World Cup, and then came back injured, unfortunately, and couldn't really get his season kick-started. When he did come back, he copped another hamstring injury and sort of fell out of favour. But that seems to be the common thread with most of the Liverpool centre-backs that partner Van Dijk. They all seem to get injured and someone else has to step in and does a good job. So I think the move doesn't make sense on our part, just because if we're selling him for 25 to 30 million, we're probably going to need a player to come back because of the injury concerns. So are we going to go sign a like for like that's, for 20 or 30 million? Well, we're better off keeping Lovren. He's good morale for the dressing room. He seems to be okay with a squad role, gets a few games, and if he has a good run, well, he stays in the first team. And if not, he understands to sit on the bench. He's got a great relationship with Mo Salah. To me, that's the puzzling. It's a puzzling move for Liverpool. For his career, it makes sense. And for AC Milan, well, they need that player with that sort of experience because they struggled last year. They conceded a few goals. They got a potential world-class goalkeeper, and they didn't have the defence in front of him to give him the cover. So my only question mark is it doesn't make too much sense for us.
Yep.
We've got Matip, who's a similar age, who's had his injury concerns, and Gomez got lots of potential, he's had his injury concerns as well. And look, Lovren's had his lapses in defensive judgment and seems quite eager when he's on the ball and when he's playing, and he's prone to errors. And unfortunately for him, when he makes the error, it usually costs us. Whereas there's some other players that will make an error and we're totally fine and no one seems to care. So I guess that's my thoughts there.
Anyone else?
I do think, he'd rather play more, definitely.
Correct.
You'd always rather play more. But, as you said, Steve, why would we sell someone when we're going to have to buy someone exactly the same?
Yeah,
so
that's my thoughts.
That's the person. I think it's a personal thing as well for him to move to AC and have that more senior role as well. I think. And
I think he's got the senior role.
He does have the senior role, but I think with Van Dijk there, not as much as he'd want. I think, but if he goes there, because there's the Italians and the Croatians have a great relationship, no matter what club you go to.
Yes, we do.
So it's it's just that. I think that's what the key is as well. So going back, which I don't like AC Milan anyway, but I'm more of a Juve fan. But you say that you can, you want to see him do well anyway. So
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly right.
It's going to be interesting, obviously. He's leaving Liverpool, but if he does go, but at the same time, walking into their back line, it's no easy feat. They have a very, very talented back line, as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, the likes of Theo Hernandez. You've also got Andreas Acuna. I think there's Masaccio still there as well. And there's someone else who was there, which I can't think of.
But there's another problem that he'll have as well. Is there's no European games for AC because they're out of everything.
Exactly
I
right.
think
They got dropped from the Europa League.
That's right. So does he want to prove himself that he can bring them up again?
And look, I think he probably would. It all depends because, again, if he has a good run of games for Liverpool, he'll just cement himself. Because that second spot next to Van Dijk, it's no one's. Okay, Matip had a good end of the season, yes. But I think Klopp's the type of guy that goes, I've got 3 centre-backs that are all probably equally talented and can all do a good job again next to Van Dijk. So prove yourself. And if he's willing to fight, well, then he could cement that spot. Because the year before, him and Van Dijk, that partnership took us all the way to the final. And we lost to Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't the reason we lost. And it was, another position that we seem to have fixed. So it's a very interesting predicament for Liverpool and for him. And it all depends what he wants. The other thing he's good at is for the new players that come in, because Lovren speaks, I think, 5 different languages.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He speaks French, he speaks Croatian, he speaks German, he speaks English, and I don't know if he speaks Italian, but that's not too hard to learn. But he's got that dual lingual opportunity where new players come in, and he can speak to everyone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. In my heart, I hope he doesn't go, but I also understand why he would consider it. And AC Milan's not a small club in terms of history, so it's not like he's going and playing for Atalanta or some small-ish club in Italy. He's going and playing for a big-name club, and Julian, you may be right. He could go there and go, I want to bring this club back up. I'll be the leading centre back and drive it forward and maybe make himself somewhat of a legendary figure there.
Yeah, Ben. Anything to add to this one, mate, before we move on?
Football
difficult for me being the non-red, but from what I have seen, it's I suppose I look at it more from the AC side, considering it's a rather astute signing for them. I've always seen Lovren as quite an aggressive defender.
Yes.
And knowing the way that AC play and who they've got in their current squad as well, AC have not been one to not pull punches by defenders. They're hard tackling, and he sort of fits that mould for them.
Yeah, very true. And the Italian game's a little bit slower that he might thrive in as well. It's much more tactical, and the build-up play is a little bit slower. So, and look,
shall we say as well a little bit more reckless than the Prem.
And that's probably been to Lovren's detriment too. You're exactly right. He's a little bit aggressive, so he comes off his line, somewhat very similar to Jamie Carragher. And look, Lovren wears his heart on his sleeve, and he loves the club. And he may say some outlandish things, but that also comes to a little bit of a language barrier, even though he speaks multiple languages. He'll say something and it's misconstrued a different way because English is not the first language. Interesting.
Just reading now, he does want to play the game against Tranmere. So,
well, he's back in training.
He's training, but he wants to play. He's putting his hand up to say, "Pick me. I'm ready to go right here, right now."
And that's a good thing. He's going to have a full pre-season. That's what he missed last year. He missed the pre-season. He came back because he played the World Cup, so he missed most of the pre-season. Played in the final. Played injured. Which is probably a little bit foolish. But if you say, "Hey, playing the World Cup final, I'm going to play." If I've got a sore groin or a sore hamstring, of course I'm going to put my hand up and go, "Let's do it."
And he was fantastic in that Croatia side.
Yeah, he was a real rock. And next to Van Dijk, he was too. So, and you know what? I guess he was always a little bit of the Liverpool scapegoat to most fans. But then if you really watch him, when he would do something good, no one would say anything. It'd be okay. Yeah. It's all quiet. And then when he'd slip up, it's Lovren's fault.
Yeah.
So, that's that. We can move on from Lovren now.
Look, we'll see what happens, obviously, in the coming weeks. Still plenty of time left in the transfer window. And as I said, it's definitely not signed, sealed, and delivered he's going. So,
well, I'm holding off buying my Lovren jersey because I honestly don't know.
It's a tricky one, yeah.
Time will tell. So, we'll move into pretty much the final main topic of this podcast. Now, it's come out in the last couple of days that Jurgen Klopp's agent is now going to talk for him. Jurgen's not going to make his own decisions and so forth. So, apparently, his agent has come out and said that he's open to moving to the German international spot. And then, obviously, Klopp came out and said, no, I'm still keen on, obviously, seeing out things here at Liverpool. He's still got things to accomplish and things that he wants to do, and you can definitely see that by the youth that he's buying.
It's he say, she say, whatever.
Yeah, look, obviously, it's no surprise. I'm almost certain this went on almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Yeah, that's right.
They wanted him for the German international spot, and obviously, he's definitely open to it, and that's something in the future that he wants to do. But So yeah, look, it's come out obviously in the media this week that that's what they want, and So we'll open it up obviously to you guys. Your thoughts? I definitely think that it will happen, but
I don't think it
see
will happen for another 5-6 years.
Yeah,
that's my thinking. As you said, he buys all these young players. He wants to see them come up. He wants to see them achieve their goals. He wants to see, what Liverpool will be in the future, like the 80s, and this is it. This is what he's here for.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Look, he's a proud German, and for them, it's such a big national. Being the Germany national team it's held in such high regard. The best of the best, and I think he'd personally want to put his name next to that job.
He definitely would.
He definitely will.
He definitely will. And he said it. He said he doesn't want to be an Arsene Wenger or a Sir Alex Ferguson and be at Liverpool for 15 or 20 years. He said he doesn't want that. So we know we're going to get 15 or 20 years of Jurgen at Liverpool. It's going to be, probably a couple of good years. And I don't think it'll happen now. I think he's gone, okay, we've won one. Now let me cement more of my legacy here at Liverpool before I look at moving on. Yeah. I think Liverpool have put a new 4-year contract in front of him, I believe, at the end of the season. So if he signs that, well, then he's definitely not going. And look,
it's a nice money pay packet anyway.
Correct. And look, I think he'll entertain the Germany job in terms of he may listen to what they have to say and things like that. But I think ultimately it'll come down to him turning it down in the end. He'll stay for a couple of years at Liverpool and then probably look at moving on. And then Liverpool will look at bringing in a manager that can continue what he's started.
I dare say, if that's the case, Mr. Stevie G will probably replace.
And that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, and by that stage, he'll be all ready to go for us, and knows what the club is.
Well, now you just say that. Obviously, I think it made it a little bit clearer this morning when I was reading the news on Facebook and so forth. Apparently, Newcastle they approached Gerrard for the job, and he turned it down instantly.
Yep.
I think Klopp's got this season plus 2 more.
Yep.
My opinion. And then
that's fair.
And then obviously, because you figure if Gerrard was to take the Newcastle job, he's not going to, and obviously unless he does ridiculously poorly, you couldn't imagine him not signing at least a 3 to 4 year contract, as most coaches do, at least 3.
Yeah.
So I think he'll stick it out at Rangers. I think as long as he does well there and he gets them into the Champions League group stage and so forth, I think he'll just stick it out until probably say 2 seasons and then possibly come in under him for the 1 season and then
could be doing that too. Assistant.
The international job is for me it's a when you finally had enough of club football. You do your international and then that's it. You finish up
and then you're on your way out.
You don't see many coaches taking on international jobs and then coming back taking on big name teams and so forth to massive titles and everything else. Well, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I don't think they're not allowed to do both, are they?
Not at the same time. No.
Unless you're Honda, you can play.
Right. Okay.
Look, the only other one that would concern me is if Bayern Munich came knocking, because it's another one. As a proud German, he would probably consider that. But again, I don't think he would do it in the middle of. Look, maybe if Liverpool faltered again, he might have just said, "You know what? That's me. I'm done. I couldn't do it." But I think now that he's got one, it's okay. Let's keep pushing on.
Yeah.
And the club gets him, and he gets the club. It was a perfect fit. for him at Liverpool. So I don't think he'd leave yet. It'd feel like unfinished business for him, and he's not that sort of person.
Yeah, I think it's like anyone. You get that sniff, you get that one title, and I don't even think even if it wasn't it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think what title it was, whether it was the Premier League,
or the Champions
League, whatever. Even a couple of little cups. You know what I mean? I think as long as he got something to him, it's working. You know what I mean? In his head,
working. Yeah,
everything's working. Obviously, once the assistant coach and so forth left, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They all thought that the brain, obviously.
Yeah, Zelko Bivak.
Yeah, they thought that it's what's going to happen now. Let's see if he can do it. And obviously, he proved them all wrong and didn't need him. So, I don't see him going anywhere for at least a couple of years. Ben, mate, before we wrap up.
I don't see him going, least of all, to Bayern.
I was thinking the same.
From after being proud Borussia Dortmund for so long, and even Mainz before that, I reckon Mainz will pull the punch before if they could ever afford him before he went across to Bayern. But I from what I read, Fenway offered him an extra $3 million on the $7 million that he was already getting, and that was a 4-year deal at the end of the season. But I can't see him leaving, and if he does leave, maybe in 4 to 5 years' time, Joachim Löw's not getting any younger either. So he's definitely going to have that Germany job at some point in his career. When is a big thing. Will he move from club to club? Is he finished doing what he needs to do at club level with Liverpool and everybody else before he does take on the Germany job? I don't think so. But I don't see him going to another Prem club or Munich at all.
Yeah. Now that you said that, actually, obviously, that was the other thing, because he was one of the lowest paid managers in the Prem. It's $7 million compared to obviously, your main bench runners, obviously in City and everything else.
Pep was 48.
Ridiculous money. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And then he comes second.
Yeah. Well, Rafa was on more money than he was.
Yeah, no, they were 5. There was few on 5, and then obviously that bump up for him got him to the teens, I think it was, and then it was a massive gap. Yeah. Massive.
Solskjaer's in the teens. I know. So they needed to throw more money at him. Like it would have been crazy.
More money than sense.
Correct. Yeah. So, but I think we're all in agreement. He definitely won't be going at least for another 2 to 3 seasons, if not more.
Yeah. Well, this is
we'll always have him.
This is what Klopp said. This is what Klopp said when he was asked about the possible Bayern Munich job earlier this year. He didn't rule it out. He basically said, "Look, I have a contract at Liverpool until 2022. Mm-hmm. No one here has the feeling that we should end it, and neither side want to end it." And he said, "I don't know. There's a long way to go in regards to the Bayern Munich job. Football is like this. The opportunity has to be right, and the timing has to be right. I'm totally happy here, and do not feel like I'm finished here. Our team has a good age structure, and we can work together for a while." So I think that would remain true with this Germany job as well. I think the timing is not right, so I don't think he'll go.
Well, apologies for the wind in the background, lads.
Yeah, it's crazy down here in Melbourne.
It's nuts.
Oh.
So look, as I said, I think we've dissected enough this week. Obviously, there's plenty more going to happen in the coming weeks, and obviously the coming months to, with transfers in and out. I still think there's going to be some movement in and out. I don't know where. I still think there's going to be some outs. Where and who, I don't know, but we'll wait and see. Well, I think just before we do go, obviously touched on it this morning. Ben and I were talking about it. Daniel Sturridge this morning obviously has come out, and where was he, in LA or somewhere? Yeah.
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood, LA.
West Hollywood. It's not where the real rich people are, but where the blokes have still got money.
Just down the road.
Around the corner,
In his holiday house.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, house got broken into, or unit got broken into, and his dog was stolen. So,
what kind of sicko does that?
Absolutely.
Right.
Daniel Sturridge, out of all things you could have stolen, like, wow. I'd have been looking for his bloody championship medal and his bloody phone. And
well, I think I was listening to his Instagram page, and he wasn't extremely happy. Obviously, stole his bags, a kind of shirt that was precious to him, and I think I heard some a medal as well. So I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, bloody ridiculous. He's offering massive money to get the dog back. So obviously, it's he's definitely a family member to him, not just a pet. So to the
like most animals are, but yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
It's definitely not going to. The podcast ain't going to hit LA, but seriously.
Hey,
you never know.
Any Newcastle or Australian Liverpool supporters listening, 20 to 30k, go hit Daniel Sturridge up, find the dog.
That's it, mate. That's exactly it. So
30k, I'd fly over there just to look for the dog.
You know what? I was considering that, Julian. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So hopefully he gets his dog back, and the whole what was the big concern was for me was he's obviously left, and pre-season started.
Yes.
Why isn't he? Or is he looking? Is he over in America looking for a gig, or is he?
He'd have to be, wouldn't he?
Well,
because he's done.
He's done here, and surely he'd be training with someone if he was over. If he was getting picked up by someone over here, you would think.
Yeah, MLS has got big money flowing around.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And look, it's for someone.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. Look, I think for someone of him, he's at that age where he can still make it in the Prem. I think I saw him linked with Aston Villa. Was it? That's probably neither here nor there. But hey, he's in the he's had a good career. He's not, old, but hey, you can go live the life in LA and play in America.
He's won 2 Champions League medals, so what else?
That's it, and he's made some good coins. So go enjoy your life and play some football in America. That's the way.
Josh, mate, we've got to add that. We've got to add that word to the forbidden list as well, mate.
Oh, Aston Villa.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was actually waiting for it. He was a little bit slow on that one. Actually, I was expecting.
I was waiting for him to get the important information out first.
Yeah. I heard him wince when I said Aston Villa.
You thought that was the wind outside there, but it was him. Yeah,
it was him.
Felt like the wind across the back of my neck.
So, look, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Julian, mate, pardon me. Obviously, for all the Newcastle Reds that are listening, Little Birdie tells me that you are looking at possibly showing the morning friendly games. Yes.
I'll hopefully show a few of them that a decent time. So I think there's the Tranmere one. I think Friday. Is it Friday? This Friday or?
It'd be close, yeah.
It'll be coming close, so I think...
Coming close, so yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Guys...
Friday,
Guys, check the Newcastle Liverpool Supporters Club Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter to keep updated on all live events.
Oh, that's right. Just about
4:30 a.m.
The 12th. There we go. So first one is Friday the 12th. And then
Friday the 12th. Looks like we got to do some promotion, Julian.
Yes, sir.
So do that. Before I could cross I was actually going to segue into Steve there to drop all the links and all the stuff there, mate. But yeah, as I said, jump onto the Facebook page, and obviously all the links we'll try and get that in the bottom of the clip when it's uploaded. And yeah,
that's it.
Get down there. Good brekkie, good coffee, and the boys get into it. They enjoy themselves. It's great.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's at LFC Newcastle Oz on Instagram and Twitter. And if you type that in on Facebook as well, it should come up with Newcastle Australia Liverpool Supporters Club.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, if everyone's listening and they haven't, if they are international members as well, have you got enough there, mate, or are you still looking for?
We've got enough, but we are still looking. So definitely, and hopefully we'll be starting official membership shortly. But keep that on the down low, guys. Just get in contact with us, and we're building the brand.
Absolutely. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, for joining.
No, thanks for having us again.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We love
Thank you very much, guys.
So yes, as
See
I
you all
said,
next week.
all the links will be there. Make sure you guys obviously like the YouTube. Sorry, like the YouTube page. Obviously, make sure you guys subscribe. It will make it a lot easier for you guys, obviously, to receive the links when we do upload the videos. And for all Liverpool information, make sure you jump onto the Facebook page, Twitter. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Guys.